Hi my friends, how's everybody doing? I got my box delivered from Biviano Direct just before and I'm very excited to see so much citrus in there. So citrus is so packed with vitamin C, and as you can hear from my sexy raspy voice, aka sound like a man, I have had bronchitis, and I have to tell you, it is so funny not funny. Going out and having had the test, no COVID-19, but going out and every time I cough or sneeze or make any kind of a thing into my arm responsibly, the whole works. People just literally recoil. It's not funny. I would recoil too, but you just feel like such a leper every time you're sick. And we are all getting sick, aside from the whole COVID-19 fiasco. We're all still getting colds and things at the moment. So a good dose of vitamin C is really important. And in here, as you can see, there's loads of mandarins, oranges, lemons, limes, some beautiful fennel, which I love. And it was really hard for me to kind of decide what I should make this week. So I've decided on two things. First of all, I'm going to make a beautiful mandarin syrup cake with almond meal that's really, really tasty. And I'm going to make, in the next video, a warm winter chicken salad with fennel and blood orange. So yummy. So, time to get cooking. You'll notice my glass is empty. And as you know, I like to have a little bit of a drink while I'm cooking, but I also like to use the wine as an ingredient in the cooking because I just think it adds so much flavour. It's not an overly sweet cake, but something that can go with that and something that could also go with my chicken citrus salad. So I'm going to whip down to Dan Murphy and chat to my friend Richard, the wine purveyor down there, to get his advice because he's a legend. Hi Richard, how are you?
I'm good, Nerida, how are you?
Oh, good. Look, I'm hoping that you can help me. Today I'm making a mandarin and almond cake that's very syrupy with beautiful fresh cream. And I'm also making a chicken and fennel and blood orange salad. So that's my challenge to you, my friend. Sweet and savoury.
Yep.
The dessert's not too sweet.
Yeah, so obviously the first thing we think of with desserts is we need a wine that's going to be sweeter. Yeah. But we need a wine that's going to go with both things.
Yes.
So I'm thinking,
there such a thing?
There is, of course, and I'm thinking either bubbles or something that's got a little bit of carry in the white wine, or a light red. Something from the Yarra Valley. Okay. We're talking a lot about these beautiful wines coming from de Bordelais at the moment, especially the La Boheme series.
Oh, I love de Bordelais wine.
Yeah, and I'm an ex-opera muso and La Boheme's one, so it's all coming together. So sparkling's over this side of the store. Yeah, I really do think that this is a great local producer, one of the great families, I suppose, of Australian wine.
They are so beautiful, these people.
But the bottom line is all the wine's really good. So this is the de Bordelais Cuvée, the Cuvée Blanc, the La Boheme. Yep. I think this would be really good. The only problem I think is it might be a little dry. So we might want a little more fleshiness or something. Let's go back over to the feature over there. So it's a tough one because you don't want something that's going to be too sweet for the salad. No. But you've got acidity coming from the blood oranges. Yeah. And you need something a little fleshy that'll go too.
And you know, you do always think that it's going to be a separate, you can't have one wine that
No, exactly. Yeah, you basically just want something that's going to be an all-rounder.
Yes.
I think Pinot Gris is a variety that might work for that because it's got a little bit of fleshiness.
I love a Pinot Gris, and I particularly love this one. So
yeah, and it's got perceived fruit sweetness, so I think that'll go really well with the chicken, and it'll go well with the dessert as well. Yum. And in fact, it might just go well with anything, this wine.
Do you know, I've just had a thought too. That wine actually sloshed into the salad dressing would be so good too.
And you could use that as an opposition to more citrus, so it's going to keep fresh. Then you get the acidity of this matching the acidity of the dish, and they sort of cancel each other out. Makes it a really nice combination.
Oh, you are a legend, what are you?
No worries. This one's around the same price, $20.
Oh,
so happy days.
Gotta love Australia.
You gotta love us. You gotta love the Yarra Valley. You gotta love the Australian wine industry. Gotta love Dan Murphy's.
Absolutely. Okay, so I just got back from Dan Murphy. I didn't wear my special apron down there, but I am wearing an apron today because, funnily enough, somebody sent me a message through Instagram and they said, you should wear an apron because it's going to ruin your clothes. So here's my apron, just to make sure it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have a little taste. Oh, that is so crisp and beautiful and just oh, unfortunately goes down too easy. Another piece of advice Richard gave me was don't drink it too cold. So just pull it out of the fridge and let it kind of sit there for, you know, half an hour or so, and it should kind of reach a nice temperature. So let's get on with our cake. Put about 4 mandarins with about 2 cups of water on your stovetop and bring it up to the gentle boil and just let it simmer away to really soften up the skin and the flesh. Remove your mandarins from the boiling water and pop them into a bowl to cool down a little bit, and then just sift through them with your fingers to pull out any of the pips, but keep the flesh and the skin as it is. Make sure that you keep your liquid that it was boiling in and put it aside. With your stick blender, give it a really good pulverise until it's quite sort of runny and paste-like, and then just pop it aside and make sure that it's cooled. Put 4 free-range eggs into your mixing bowl along with 2/3 of a cup of caster sugar. Blend it all up until it becomes really creamy, pale and fluffy. Grab another bowl and put 2/3 of a cup of self-raising flour in and a cup and 1/3 of almond meal, and give it all a good stir to make sure that it's properly combined. Gently fold together these dry ingredients and your mandarin puree and also your egg and sugar mixture. I've greased my baking tin and I've just popped a little bit of baking paper on the bottom as well to help it not to stick. Just pour the batter into your cake pan. Just roughly tear off a piece of baking paper and a piece of tin foil and pop it over the top. We want to make sure that it is really pinched nice and tightly around the edge of the dish, because this is going to be effectively a steamed pudding. I've got a saucepan that's just a little bit bigger than my baking dish, and I'm pouring about a cup of water into it and then placing my baking dish inside and popping on the lid to make sure that it's a really steamy experience for this cake. Oh, you guys are mad for mandarin, aren't you? Sorry, Mr. Pickles. That's all there is. When I fished my mandarins out earlier, I kept the water that the citrus was in, and I'm boiling it up again, but adding in just a couple of half bits and pieces of citrus that I had lying around, a lemon and some orange, and I've also popped in a cinnamon quill and about a cup of sugar. And of course, a slosh of my beautiful Pinot Gris, and boil it up until it becomes very syrupy, and it has sort of a bittersweet, almost a Campari taste around it. Then I drain the liquid off, and you can see that I'm pushing the citrus into a sieve just to get every drop out, and pour the syrupy, beautiful liquid into a little jar, and we're going to use that for the cake later. The moment of truth. Off comes the lid, winch it out of the saucepan, remove the foil and the baking paper, and voila, it's beautifully cooked. Flip it upside down, take off the baking paper, and let it cool down. Drizzle over the citrus syrup that we made earlier. Once it's cooled down, whip up some cream, add a couple of drops of vanilla essence, and about a teaspoon of icing sugar. We don't want this to be too sweet. Now, once you give that a mix, the texture should be quite firm. So it should just kind of drop off the spoon like this. You don't have to add anything to your cream, but I'm popping in some crushed up pistachios. You could easily use almonds or anything you like, just to give it a little bit more texture, but it's totally optional. I'm just getting some little zesty orange bits. Any citrus is fine, just to add a little bit of colour to my cake. And I've piled the cream on nice and high, as you can see, and put some beautiful mandarin segments on top. So there you go, there's my almond and mandarin syrup cake. And if you rip that out at a function, or just when you have people coming over, they'll think you are a bloody legend.